Did you know there is a capital city that was built for millions of people but is almost empty? It's shocking to think of a place designed for so many that remains nearly deserted. In the US, a $17 billion infrastructure project failed to deliver any practical benefits and now sits abandoned. Let's explore 6 of the most useless megaprojects in the world. These projects had enormous budgets and high expectations but ended up being failures. How did these ambitious plans end up among the most infamous examples of wasteful megaprojects in the world? Number 6. Transit Elevated Bus. The concept of the elevated bus, also known as the straddling bus or transit elevated bus (YTB), was introduced in China as a revolutionary solution to urban traffic congestion. The idea was first proposed by Chinese engineer Song Yuzhu in 2010. The TB was designed to travel above regular road traffic, allowing cars to pass underneath its elevated passenger compartment. This innovative design aimed to reduce traffic jams, improve public transportation efficiency, and minimize pollution by reducing the number of conventional buses on the road. The TB gained significant attention in 2016 when a prototype was showcased in Qinhuangdao, a city in northern China. The bus was 22 meters long, 7.8 meters wide, and 4.8 meters high, with the capacity to carry up to 300 passengers. It ran on a set of tracks laid along existing roadways, effectively straddling 2 lanes of traffic. The demonstration generated global media coverage and excitement about the potential of this revolutionary transit solution. Despite the initial interest and media call, the project faced many technical and financial challenges. By late 2017, the TEB project had stalled and was ultimately declared a failure. Several factors contributed to its demise, including skepticism about the feasibility and safety of the design, concerns from urban planners and engineers, and a lack of sustained funding. Additionally, the prototype faced criticism for blocking intersections and potentially creating new traffic problems rather than solving existing ones. The company behind the TEB, Huaying was also accused of financial misconduct, further tarnishing the project's reputation. So the elevated bus idea was dropped, showing how hard it can be to try new transportation ideas in real cities. Number 5. Interstate H3. Interstate H3, a 26-kilometer long highway in Hawaii, is renowned for its breathtaking scenery, passing through some of the world's most stunning landscapes. The picturesque views along the highway raised genuine concerns that motorists might stop to admire the scenery, creating traffic hazards. The beauty of Interstate H3 is matched by its controversial history. Proposed in 1960 with defense considerations in mind, the highway was meant to connect the Pearl Harbor Naval Base to the Marine Corps Air Station. The announcement of its construction was met with immediate resistance from environmental groups and native Hawaiians, who feared the project would lead to massive urbanization and disrupt the natural landscape. The construction of Interstate H3 faced significant delays due to environmental concerns and opposition from native Hawaiians. The original route had to be altered to protect surrounding valleys, and environmental laws of the time further stalled progress. It wasn't until 26 years later, in 1986, that Congress exempted the project from these laws, clearing the way for construction to begin in 1989. The highway was finally opened in 1997, almost 37 years after it was first proposed. Its construction is often hailed as an engineering marvel, given the challenging terrain and advanced technologies required. The highway features numerous high-tech tunnels and viaducts designed to protect the local environment in the valleys below. The long delays, route changes, and adoption of newer, more expensive technologies resulted in the project exceeding its original budget by 5 times. The total cost of constructing Interstate H3 amounted to $1.3 billion, making it one of the most expensive highways in the world at approximately $50 million per kilometer. Despite the high cost, the highway's utility is debated. Critics argue that it has become a road to nowhere since the defense considerations of the 1960s are no longer relevant, and it does not provide a direct route to downtown Honolulu. This has led some to question the practicality and necessity of such an expensive infrastructure project. Interstate H3 remains controversial among native Hawaiians, many of whom refuse to use it, considering it cursed due to the destruction of culturally significant sites during its construction. Despite being a significant engineering achievement, the highway is seen by some native groups as a symbol of cultural loss and environmental disregard. While it stands as a tribute to modern engineering, Interstate H3's complex legacy continues to stir debate about the balance between development and preservation of cultural and natural heritage. Number 4. HKMB Bridge. At 55 kilometers in length, the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, also known as the HKMB Bridge, is the world's longest sea crossing. Its successful completion after 9 years of construction connects the cities of Hong Kong, Macau, and Zhuhai. The HKMB Bridge is an impressive example of engineering, which reduced the travel time between Hong Kong, Zhuhai, and Macau from 4 hours to just 30 minutes. This 34-mile-long bridge, the longest sea crossing in the world, represents a significant infrastructure investment aimed at boosting regional connectivity and economic integration. However, despite its potential, the bridge has seen limited usage due to stringent permit requirements, which restrict access primarily to high-tech investors, top academics, politicians, and philanthropists. This exclusivity means that the bridge, which cost $18.8 billion and took 9 years to construct, is not used by the general public. The restrictive permit system raises questions about the bridge's true purpose. Some speculate that the limited access is a measure to control traffic flow into Hong Kong, a city already grappling with severe overcrowding and congestion. By requiring vehicle registration in all 3 cities and limiting daily permits to 400, authorities aim to prevent too many cars from crowding the cities. This approach could be seen as a way to manage and mitigate potential urban challenges while still maintaining the bridge as a strategic asset for select groups of people. But the paradox of investing nearly $19 billion in a project that restricts general usage fuels suspicions and debates. The decision to limit access to such a significant infrastructure project suggests that there might be underlying political or economic motives beyond mere traffic management. It could be part of a broader strategy to control the flow of people and goods, ensure security, or maintain the exclusivity and prestige associated with such a grandiose structure. The restricted access might also reflect a cautious approach to balancing development with sustainability and quality of life in the region. Regardless, the limited usage of the HKMB remains a topic of intrigue and speculation. Number 3. Lotus Riverside. The collapse of the Lotus Riverside Block 7 in Shanghai in June 2009 shows how important it is to follow good construction practices and plan the site well. This 13-story apartment building, part of the larger Lotus Riverside complex, collapsed during the excavation of an underground parking structure. The excavation resulted in the removal of a substantial amount of soil, which was then placed on the opposite side of a river. This action created unexpected lateral forces that the building's foundation could not withstand, leading to a catastrophic failure that caused 1 death and millions of dollars in damage. The core issue was not the design or materials used for the building's foundation, which consisted of pre-stressed high-strength concrete piles. These piles are known for their durability, adaptability, and high load capacity. The construction company's decision to place a large pile of excavated soil, reaching up to 35 feet high, on the opposite side of the building from the excavation site was a critical error. This imbalance in soil pressure created a net lateral force that the hollow foundation piles, lacking necessary lateral bracing, could not resist. The situation was exacerbated by heavy rainfall, which saturated the soil pile and further increased the lateral pressure, leading to the building's collapse. This disaster highlights the essential role of geotechnical engineering and proper site management in construction projects. If the garage had been excavated before the building's construction, or if the soil had been spread out or removed from the site, the collapse likely could have been prevented. Additionally, implementing lateral bracing during the excavation could have stabilized the structure. The Lotus Riverside collapse serves as a costly and tragic lesson that underscores the need for meticulous planning and adherence to safety protocols and construction practices to prevent such failures. Before we move on to another useless mega project that cost millions, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a single video. Number 2. Pyi Taw. Pyi Taw, the capital of Myanmar, was constructed from scratch under the direction of the former military leadership who started the project in secret in 2002. The announcement of this new capital came in November 2005, but its name was only revealed 4 months later as Pyi Taw, meaning the king's residence. The shift from the former capital, Yangon, was driven by several factors, including Yangon's infrastructural limitations and burgeoning population, which is projected to double by 2050. Also, there were speculations about the military's concerns over potential attacks and even astrological advice influencing the decision. Despite substantial investments of around $4 billion, Pyi Taw struggles to attract a significant population. The city boasts impressive infrastructure, including a 20-lane highway, luxury hotels, golf courses, museums, and a replica of a famous Yangon landmark. However, it lacks essential services such as quality healthcare, educational institutions, and economic opportunities, which discourages people from relocating there. As a result, the city, envisioned as a bustling metropolis, often appears deserted, earning the moniker of a ghost town. The striking contrast between its grand design and sparse population makes Naypyidaw one of the world's most peculiar capitals. The city is characterized by empty highways, underutilized airports, and vacant shopping malls and hotels. Despite these challenges, Naypyidaw's design as a city of the future means it still holds potential for growth as Myanmar's population increases. For now, it remains largely underutilized and fails to serve the needs of much of the country's population. Number 1. The world's islands. Dubai's ambitious project, The World, began in 2003, aiming to create a miniature version of the Earth's continents using artificial islands. 7 sets of islands represent Europe, Africa, Asia, North America, South America, Antarctica, and Oceania. These islands, each symbolizing various countries or landmarks like France, New York, or Mount Everest, were meticulously constructed by dredging sand from the ocean floor and piling it up. The entire venture required several years and billions of dollars to complete, with a massive wave breaker constructed around the perimeter for protection. Once the islands were ready, Dubai sold them to wealthy individuals and companies who planned to transform them into luxurious resorts, hotels, wellness centers, and other attractions. Despite the grand vision and initial sales success, the project's progress has been significantly hampered. The islands remain mostly deserted, with just a few developments like a beach club on Lebanon, a shopping center in North America, and some construction on Antarctica and Europe. The primary obstacle has been the lack of infrastructure. The initial plans included underwater cables and pipes to supply water, electricity, and waste management to each island, but these proved much more difficult to implement than anticipated. As a result, developers have had to rely on diesel generators and water shipments, making further development impractical and stalling many proposed projects. This isn't the only example of Dubai's ambitious island projects facing challenges. The Palm Jebel Ali, another palm-shaped archipelago, remains unfinished and undeveloped. The islands built in 2005 were left incomplete due to financial constraints, with much of the sand washing away over time. Although there was a renewed effort to work on these islands in 2022, their future remains uncertain. The numerous delays and unfinished projects highlight the complexity and risks involved in such impressive actions, leaving many investors with unfulfilled promises and empty islands. If given the chance to own an artificial island, one might consider the practicalities of infrastructure and the long-term feasibility of development before embarking on such an investment. So, what can we learn from these ambitious projects? It's clear that careful planning, community involvement, and transparency are essential for success in big projects. By learning from these mistakes, we can cover the way for future infrastructure investments that truly transform lives. Considering that we have placed these projects among the most useless mega projects, do you agree? Do you think any of these mega projects have a chance to be useful in the future? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.